and gentlemen, welcome back to TLT Talks. We have a very exciting show for you today. We're going to have not one, not two, but three guests joining us. Everybody's been waiting for this Fed announcement. It has now happened. Around the country, just to get some understanding of how are things around the country, what's different, what's the same. Let's see, we haven't done multiple guests in a while. Let's see how this works out. Oh, guest number one, Mr. Levi Meyer. How goes it, sir?
I was so excited. I thought I was going to have technical difficulties like last time, but right in number one.
Oh, good, my man. You know, I haven't done multiple guests in a while. Let's see if we can get everybody on. Okay, we got the request. They're incoming. Honestly, the hardest part about doing the show is
Getting
actually getting
everyone
the
on the
guests
show.
on. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Guest number two, 2 for 3. What's up, Christian?
Keep it going.
How's it going? Let's see if we can go for the hat trick. I don't have Ed just yet. Ed, if you're watching, let's get your request in to join. Let me see if I can find him.
Exciting times.
Ed, if you're watching, I just sent you. Sherman, what is up, my man? Oh, here we go. We did it.
Oh.
3 for 3. Hat trick.
Kept getting an error.
Hat trick. Yeah. I'll tell you
You're
the
here
hardest
now.
part. The hardest part. I keep every show I do. I'm like, Instagram, get your shit together. Hardest part of every show is like actually getting the guest on. There's a delay, yada yada. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's the squad for today. Let me just do a very, very quick intro. We have with us Christian Nguyen, who is formerly top dog at Citizens. He's been the preferred lender of the Litvak team for a very long time. By the way, gents, I'm sure you have your own lenders, but I'm just saying mine's probably better. So you guys can link up after. As a matter of fact, he took his talents solo. He said enough of the man, and him and his boy Ace opened their own bank, and it's been so dope. And so he'll talk about what's going on with the market and the way of the rates. We have with us Ed Verdel from New Jersey. Ed runs the VIP team, and it is truly that. Originally founded the team in 2013, joined Compass right around COVID, has sold a gazillion homes, has rented a gazillion homes, but consistently a top-ranked broker in New Jersey and our go-to for clients that go to New Jersey. And then finally, what feels like a soulmate, a twin. I thought there's no one out there that does it like I do, and yet I have met my match in Mr. Levi Meyer out of Florida, 5th generation Floridian actually. Does it all, buyers, sellers, investors, new development, a go-to in Florida for real estate. Actually, you know, Compass has these retreats, and for the first several years of retreat, I didn't go. And then finally I went, and it was in Florida. That was my first retreat, and everybody, Refkin, Rory, a bunch of our colleagues that are agents, I mean, everybody was like, you haven't met Levi? Oh my God, you have to meet Levi. And then we finally met. And it was like an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. And Levi has been so still for the last like 3 minutes. I wonder if he's frozen.
I think it looks like he had dropped
It
off.
looks like-
He's trying to get back on, though.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Yeah,
Let's get him back here.
let's get him on.
See, Instagram. Holy moly.
Like the Navy SEALs, we got to rescue our boy.
Here we go. He's back.
There he is.
He's back. It's Florida. You know how it is, man. Florida's on tiki time always. You guys know how it is.
Well, I was
well,
in,
Levi,
Facebook threw me out.
Oh, good. Oh, good. You see, you know how it goes, man. It's always internally competing. Well, we finished intros. Here's where I would love to start. We can just go in the order that I went in. Let's go Christian, then Ed, then Levi. If you could just quickly introduce yourself to our audience. We're going to have however many people are going to join this live. But then it's going to go on our page, and then it's going to go to over 100,000 people in our monthly newsletter. So anything you want to share about who you are, what you do, etc. Christian, let's start with you. Then we'll go to Ed. Then we'll go with Levi. Fire away, Steve.
Good. I'll make it quick. Thank you for being a part. Letting me be a part of this with you, handsome gentlemen. Christian Nguyen, I'm the senior mortgage loan officer at Cliffco Mortgage Bankers. We've done a lot of amazing things. The market is very active. Rates have been coming down. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But, if you know anyone that's looking to purchase a refinance, we're here for you. We're going to make it happen for your clients.
Love it. Fun fact, Christian, what do we got?
I'm a second-degree black belt. Hopefully that helps out when that happens.
Ooh,
It's come very useful in certain times, actually.
I love it. I love it. Sometimes, sometimes words aren't enough. I teach my kids words first, but sometimes, sometimes you gotta let somebody know there are consequences,
That's it.
All right, Ed, my man, what do we got?
All right, Ed Verdel with the VIP team. My team is a dozen agents covering northern New Jersey. So we work about 45-minute radius of the city. I've been selling real estate for about 16 years, and we've sold over 700 homes. We've been with Compass since 2020, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, lovely. Fun fact? I'll wait till you guys hear
Fun
this.
fact. Now I got to build off Christian's.
I love it. It's great.
So I've fought in a cage twice. This was a long time ago, but it's something that's just part of my life.
All right,
Now
here
we gotta
go.
we gotta put him in the cage together
That's
now.
it, ladies and gentlemen.
The octagon.
Ladies and gentlemen, if this clip goes viral, November TLT Talks, mortgage meets real estate in the cage. Thank you, Ed, and thank you for servicing all the clients we send your way. And finally, Levi, what's up, my dude? How you doing?
How's it going? I'm great. Anyway, a little bit about me. I am a fifth generation Floridian. I grew up in Miami. My mother was born and raised in Miami, so we go back. I currently live in Coral Gables, though I've lived in Miami Beach, Aventura, and all throughout Miami Shores, etc. I service the areas mostly and primarily in the Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, Pinecrest area, which is the sort of the suburb areas of Miami, just on the mainland, not on the beach per se. Though we do service Miami Beach and downtown as well. We keep it to Miami though. I don't do West Palm. I don't do Fort Lauderdale. We don't do Boca Raton. So we have really great partners for all those other areas of South Florida. But my focus is here in Miami specifically. Fun fact about me. There's a lot of them. There was that's in my favorite fun fact is that I can take my boat from my house to my office. Not that I do that every day, but but it is the true Miami lifestyle that
Nice to have the option. Nice to have the option. How you going to work? Bus, train, boat? Take my boat. Take my boat.
So yeah, I can just walk outside my backyard, get right on the dock at my house, and we could take the boat straight to the dock here at Monty's, which is
Love
just
it.
in front of our office.
Love it.
And that's the lifestyle that's the dream lifestyle we try to curate for all our clients. But
Love it.
I feel very fortunate to have been able to make that a reality in my life.
Love it.
Other
Good to
fun
hear.
facts: while I'm not a black belt, I was an international arms dealer for many for a portion of my life. I go python hunting in the Everglades,
Nice.
which is something that the state of Florida requires. We have a python in the Everglades. There's a python problem, and so it's actually the state of Florida actually hosts competitions for us to go out and
Love
and
it.
sort of decrease the population.
Love it. Joy's on here. She goes, that's a flex. But I'm not sure if she's talking about the boat or the arms dealing.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, gents, thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules. Levi, on a separate conversation, we could have a chat about what it's like to own a boat. My house has a boat slip, and I'm like hard to own a boat, and I get so much shit for it from everyone. She said both. She said both. There you go. He takes the boat to deal arms. Put your hands together. That's how we do it. So thank you guys for being here, for taking time out of your schedules. Let's start today talking about the Fed. There was this, everybody's been waiting for the Fed to make a move. They made a move. There's a couple more moves coming. However, it's a hallucination of mine that when people hear interest rate, they think mortgage rates, not necessarily Fed rates. So Christian, why don't we take an opportunity to explain to anyone that may either not know or may not be fully tight on it.
Yeah.
When there's a Fed rate movement, what does that actually mean? How does that have an implication on mortgage rates? If you could just give us sort of the 101 and all that, that'd be great.
For sure. A quick one would be, the Fed rate is tied to the prime rate, right? So when they say rates are going up or down, it's a direct result to the prime, which therefore affects typically car loans, student loans, auto loans, right? And so not necessarily mortgages, but it is an indicative direction of where the rates are going to be trending towards, right? So as it's going down, mortgage rates typically kind of build into it because it is tied to the treasury yield, right? And, it's kind of like someone saying, hey, it's a big announcement. Rates are coming down, which is kind of nice. It may not necessarily mean 0.25% direct
Right.
correlation to the interest rate themselves, but it is on the same way, which is nice.
Yeah. So is there some mathematical correlation? Like for developers, it's kind of easy. It's like prime plus whatever is there
Right.
some, I'm a home buyer. It's my first time buying a home. I know nothing about mortgages. I've heard the Fed's cutting rate by a quarter point. Is there any way for me to like back of the napkin math, that means rates will X, or that just doesn't exist?
It doesn't, at least to my knowledge, it doesn't exist. The way I
Okay.
look at it, I always follow the 10-year treasury. That's typically
Right.
how mortgage rates are trending,
Right.
which I use that to kind of be my baseline of how rates are going to be affected.
Perfect. Thank you. And for anyone that's watching now or later, if you guys think it would be a good show to just unpack how mortgage rates come to be to do a deeper dive on treasuries, or if you guys think that would make for a good show, just let me know and we can certainly facilitate that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you seeing? The Fed, people are hoping for a half a basis point. We got a quarter basis point. The
Yeah.
rates actually went up a little bit as soon as that happened, but it's so
It's messed up.
confusing, man. Like all my sales clients, all my sponsors, everyone's like, let's wait for the rate. The rate comes
Yeah.
down, the mortgage comes up. Everybody's calling me, what's going on?
Right.
So
Yeah.
give us the state of the market. What are you seeing? What do you expect?
As a banker, I always say this: the truth is in the numbers, right?
Yeah,
And it's
that's
all
right.
kind of comparing where we were a year ago to where we are today. It's still significantly better, right? And
Oh yeah.
so, 80% of America has a 4% interest rate or less. So as rates are going to come down, it is going to open up a lot of movement, because a lot of the times people right now, they're thinking to themselves, a year ago, if they were to sell their house and buy something else, because of the higher interest rate, they were going to probably make the same payment, right? So it didn't make sense for them. Now, as rates are going down, it's going to put a little bit more thought process and say, hey, look, maybe it is a time to trade. And so people who wanted to upside, they can do that, or people also wanted a downside. I actually had a call from someone who their 3 kids went to college and now they're looking to downside. So it's
Right.
kind of like a perfect situation now that rates are coming back down.
Yeah, that's right. So very high level. Let's say start of Q3 last year, what was the rate and where is it now? I'm not gonna hold you to it, but sort of very high level.
Yeah.
I closed a loan as high at 7.625%, and now today it's at 6.125, 6.25, around
There
there.
you
So
go.
it's a full percentage point. It's a lot in
Yeah.
savings per month.
20,
Because
25%, man. 20 to
yeah,
25%. Yeah, for
clients
sure.
live in the payment. They don't live in the price. And so when you
That's
break
right.
down the payment options for them, it puts perspective into them.
For sure. We talk about this with buyers all the time. What's inevitable, however long it takes, what's inevitable is that Fed's going to cut the rate more. What's inevitable is that mortgage rates are going to come down. What's inevitable is when that happens, prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
And you don't marry the rate, you marry the property. So there's a lot of buyers that are in fact, being opportunistic, and they're taking advantage of this soft market. It is really a buyer's market now. They're taking advantage of the soft market. They're negotiating deals for themselves. Even, there are banks that are offering 2-1 buy downs. There are banks that are offering regular buys. There's all these different,
Yeah.
there's a myriad of different options out there. And there are buyers that are like, I know I'm gonna need to move the next 1 to 3 years. Let me take advantage of this now, because I can get a great deal on the price. And then when the rates do move, if it takes 6 months or 2 years, I'm gonna make the adjustment. And if I'm in this thing longer term, there's a lot of
100%.
there's a smart play to play there. So with that, how can you help? Someone should call you because blank.
Because we're going to get the job done, right? We look at everything. Credit, income,
Yeah.
assets. We invest in our clients, like I'm sure all of you do, right? We want to
That's
grow
right.
with them. It's great because I'm getting phone calls from my clients that I haven't spoken to in 2-3 years, like, hey, Christian, rates are coming down. And I'm actively marketing to them. They're
That's
reaching
right.
out to me, and we want to grow with them. I was with someone when he was an eligible bachelor till he got married.
Mhm.
He has 2 kids now, and we're still, we're still
Oh
connected. So
shit!
it's great.
Watch out, Ed. You might be getting that call soon. Well, that's probably Christian. That's probably a perfect transition. Christian, thank you so much, and I can absolutely speak on your behalf. We have grown together. We've known each other
we
for such a long time now.
Yeah, we
I
have.
knew I knew you before you were your own bank, when you were still, and you
Yeah,
knew before I was all the whatever.
yeah.
So yeah, it's been really awesome to grow together with each other, but then also with our clients. I can certainly attest to everything that was said just now is truly authentic, and where Christian really shines, separate to just the products of his bank, which are really interesting and really exciting and very different, which is why they went and did it. Just the level of service, the level of dedication. I'm failing to find the right word. The level of creative solutions. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
The level of creative solutions. You know, what Christian's able to do is really special. So it's cool if you have a mortgage broker. It's cool if you have a pre-approval, but it's still worth having a chat with this guy, especially if your situation is not regular. Like
Yeah.
if you're 800 credits and perfect DTI, you know, you're good everywhere. But if
Yeah.
you're self-employed, if you're, you know, if there's anything that's an outlier, Christian's team is really exceptional. And so then, right, like, so this is real. People are gonna, New York City is in fact getting a little more challenging. You know, the rents are through the roof, the prices are high, the inventory is low, the political climate is uncertain.
Hey, you said it, not me.
So you know, the New York City's always been some degree of this, but you know, we saw it through COVID. We saw, you know, I don't want to say a cliche term like mass exodus, but we really saw people deciding, I've had enough of New York and leaving and looking for other places. And so New Jersey is sort of one of those makes sense type of markets. It's right next door. You got better prices, you got bigger homes, you have less political control. Again, I'm not trying to turn this into politics, but if that's for you, it's a very close move. And so actually a lot of our clients over the past 5 years have been liquidating their properties in New York and then taking their family to Jersey. They may continue to own investment property in New York, but they've just decided they've had enough with city life and they're looking, the majority we're finding is New Jersey. Yes, of course, there's Long Island, there's Westchester, there's Connecticut, there's all that stuff, but New Jersey is still very close. It's still right by the city. And all of those clients go to Ed. So what's up, Ed? Thank you for taking great care of our clients. Let's start with just high level, what's going on with the market? What's going on with inventory? How are prices? Just kind of what are you seeing?
Well, as you mentioned, there was the big exodus. Well, you didn't want to say that, but the big exodus when COVID hit. So we saw a lot of the benefit of that. And what we've seen, my team covers, let me just back up. My team covers urban markets, which are Hudson County, Jersey City, Hoboken, and the surrounding towns, but also the suburban markets. Both of which a lot of New Yorkers have gone to.
Yep.
Onto the suburban market. They want bigger homes, still with an easy commute to New York City, around an hour, and with good schools for their kids, public schools. Right. And then they've gone to the urban markets because they still want to be even closer to the city. They still want to have the ability to walk around and go to wherever they want, have that urban feel. So both markets have really popped off in the beginning of COVID and continue to do really well, especially the suburbs.
Yep.
Those markets have basically doubled in price in the last 5 years, whereas Hudson County have gone up probably around 50-60%.
Right.
And where you mentioned that, you know, you're seeing a buyer's market in a lot of the country right now. We're not seeing that. We're still in a seller's market, especially in the suburbs, heavy seller's market. Homes are selling just under a month on average.
Wow.
Whereas Hudson County, the urban market, is more of a normal market.
Right.
A little bit longer than a month to sell. You're not seeing as many bidding wars. So, you know, you're able to get somewhat of a better deal there.
Yeah.
Quick recent scenario I wanted to just share with you. In a good suburban town, there was a house on the market that was very desirable, and I had clients that bid on it. We lost. We came in second or third. I can't remember at this point, but there was 38 offers on that property.
Wow.
So you're not really seeing that in a lot of the country right now, but we're still seeing cases like that.
Jeez. Do you know, I always partially wonder, like, when something like that happens, of course it's partially market, and partially like that broker just not know how to price correctly. Like, how do you miss by that much, you know? Like,
but it's interesting. In some of these towns, especially in Essex County, they've been pricing like this for years, where they expect to sell 30% over asking price. Wow. And it makes the job of a buyer's agent very, very difficult, and it also buyers themselves.
Yeah, off the record. Well, I guess maybe it's not off the record. I hate.
We're live and recorded.
Just between us, boys. Just between us. I hate those kind of markets. It's like, if you're trying to run an authentic service-based business, good luck being a listing agent and not pissing off everybody. You know, like, good luck being a buyer's agent and not having your buyer pissed off with you. It's like that type of market, it just creates so much bad blood. And our industry already doesn't have the best reputation. And it's like all fingers don't go to the market and the market conditions or whatever. All finger pointing goes to my broker is an idiot, or my broker doesn't know what they're doing, or my broker is self-serving, or like all of it just further worsens our reputation. It's like that kind of market. It just makes for like service. It's like you have to have such a strong muscle for management of expectations, for communication,
Yeah.
for like, because otherwise you get dubbed it's your fault, and it's just I honestly, I know the sellers love that scenario, but I think it's just so bad for the business in general. Just between us, of course. Don't
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
anyone.
Real talk.
Well, okay. So very high and very quick, Ed. New York City, for me to sell a condo or a co-op, it's essentially the equivalent of buying a Fortune 500 company. Right? I got to cut down a forest for the board packages. I got to get 17,000 people in a room for a closing. I imagine your operation's a little more simplistic than that. So anything there, and also with that, anything people may not know about Jersey that would be valuable for people to know.
Yeah, so we do much more condo sales than we do co-op sales. They're not very popular in this area, and when we do co-op sales, they're way more streamlined than they are in New York City.
Yeah.
I did a co-op sale in New York City many years ago when I was licensed there, and I remember there was a packet about this thick.
And he moved to Jersey. He's like, never again.
Yeah.
never again.
No, I let my license go after that one. I was like, yeah. Actually, to truth be told, I had the listing agent do the whole thing because I was like, I have no idea what this is. Just crazy. So in any case, it's all very streamlined. It's much simpler. With condos here, there's no board interview or anything like that required. Very very limited amount of restrictions and things you have to do, basically. So it's much simpler. And then your second question, what don't people know? One thing to share is there's new legislation that was passed this summer, and it was passed very quickly, where the mansion tax, which is for homes that sell over $1 million, a buyer used to have to pay a 1% mansion tax for a property sold in New Jersey. Well, as of July of this year, that responsibility has shifted to the seller. So that's, I guess, a benefit for buyers that they don't have to pay that 1% mansion tax. It's now on a sliding scale where it's at least 1% on a seller, and it could be as high as 3.5%, which is unfortunate for people who are building luxury new construction homes. But that's something that's new in mind.
So to clarify, even if I, as a seller, wanted to put in the buyer, I can't. It's not illegal. I have to pay it.
I don't know. You'd have to see if an attorney has a way of doing that.
Get around it.
Basically
Okay.
it does fall on the seller now.
Cool. Yeah, we had something similar in New York with the Fair Act, where now, like in the rental market, if you hire a broker, you have to pay the broker. Like we as brokers can no longer collect from the tenant, and there's no way around that. It is what it
No
is.
way around it.
Yeah. So cool. Well, thank you, Ed, and we'll obviously continue to send you folks, and anyone, if you have questions about Jersey, whether it's logistics, what else you might not have known. That's kind of cool that you can go buy a luxury home and not be subjected to essentially one of the largest closing costs. That's pretty awesome for a buyer. Not as awesome if you're a seller, but for a buyer, pretty awesome. And so a little bit less next door, but kind of next door. A quick 3-hour door-to-door flight is Florida. You got palm trees. You got lower taxes. Actually, for real estate agents, you got higher splits. I got to say, I go to Florida often, to all parts of Florida. I'm actually going to be in your neck of the woods in December for a national tennis tournament.
In the calendar.
Yeah, buddy. I'm excited for that. Hopefully, I'm going to be in Key Biscayne. Yes, hopefully I'll be holding up my second tennis trophy. But every time I go down there, and whether it's like Miami or Tampa or Bradenton, anywhere I go, it's like after 2 or 3 days after my New York jittery settles, I'm like, why am I going home? Like, where am I going? So, ladies, same thing. Let's start with, you can just give us all at once. High level in the market, prices, inventory, whatever. Anything about the process you want to share, and anything people don't know, if you want to just give it to us in one rant. Fire away, sir.
All right. Let's start high level. All things considered, real estate has been softer here as we're seeing in most markets around the country. I think historic high prices, historic high interest rates, as high as 8.5%, days on market, inventory climbing. Like we're seeing the same story everywhere, but which I think has softened things. It's slowed people down. It's given buyers the time to make decisions without
Right.
feeling pressured. And there's been a lot of hesitancy. I think for a year plus now, closer to 2 years almost, people have been a little on the fence. Is it a great time to buy? Are interest rates going to come down? Are prices going to come down? And the story that has been playing out, unfortunately for buyers, is that none of those things that typically would cause price to go down, right? High interest rates, high prices, days on market are climbing, inventory is climbing. These are supposed to put pressure on pricing to bring them down. And we're just not seeing that to be the
Same.
case in most neighborhoods in
Same.
Miami, or in most throughout South Florida, really. There are, not to say there aren't some opportunities that deal here or there. That
Yeah.
I tell people it's time to make offers, right? With days on market climbing, go make offers. If you don't like someone's price, we're seeing prices that trade 25 for closed prices trading 25% sometimes below the
Wow.
asking price. That's not 25% below what it should have been priced at or what the
Right.
market is, but
Right.
they're priced so high. I tell you, just go make offers, and we're seeing price reduction, price reduction, price reduction, and then huge gap to the close cost. So normally that's a 5% negotiability from the last from the last price reduction to the close price is
Right.
usually around 5-6% in Miami-Dade County. We're seeing that number jump. And again, it doesn't mean that the actual average is coming down or that the numbers or the prices are dropping. It's just that those people that are asking big numbers are eventually taking less, and it's a good
Right.
time to be making offers.
Yeah.
With
Well
that
said.
said, I would say the data does not tell the whole story, right? Like the headlines will tell you that inventory's up and that the market is soft and slow. But I did a video last week. I think you saw it
Yeah.
about what we don't listen. It's not my headline, but it is the
Yeah.
cover of it is the cover of the real deal here. That says that real estate is bracing for Mamdani, and so I wanted to talk about what that means and whether or not I believe we're going to see this massive influx or exodus, like we maybe people called it in the beginning of COVID. I'm not a huge believer that there's going to be an exodus from New York City, but I am a believer that we don't need an exodus for there to be an inventory crisis in the markets that matter in South Florida.
Right. Right.
And to that, I did pull some stats. Miami. I'm going to go over four main areas here really quickly with you. Miami Beach, Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, and Pinecrest. And people with kids that are looking to get out or they're looking to send their kids to nice schools or be in nice suburbs, those are the areas they're tending to look in the Miami market. Um, Most of them have Miami Beach and Coral Gables have about 200 and 200 homes, single family homes on the market each. Coconut Grove only has 100, and Pinecrest has 141. Sounds like a lot of inventory, right? That's 246, that's 750 homes. It's not a terrible amount, but if we were to say 3 million or less, Miami Beach cuts from 220 homes to 61. And if we say three bedrooms with 2,500 square feet or more, that number cuts down to 18 available single family homes in all of Miami Beach. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're somebody looking to move to Miami with a $3 million budget, you need at least three bedrooms and a meager 2,500 square feet. We're not talking about 5,000 square foot homes here. Just like a bare minimum is 2,500. You now have 18 homes to choose from in Miami Beach. Coral Gables, that's 20, right? If you cut it to three bedrooms, 2,500 square feet. Coconut Grove, four, not 40, four. And in Pinecrest, that number is 29. Pinecrest is a suburb just so you have downtown Miami, then you have Coconut Grove right next to it, Coral Gables adjacent to that, and then Pinecrest is kind of like our Jersey suburbs, right? It's our
Right.
Westchester County, right?
Uh,
That's where you're going over here to get an acre of land, a three-car garage, a tennis court. People who move to Pinecrest, it's very much a suburb. It's a little more removed from downtown. So when I look at that, it's like now between four of those major cities, we're talking less than 100 homes between them. If
yeah.
you have a budget of 3 million and need three bedrooms over
Yeah, so
2,500 square feet.
what I hear when you say that, what I hear is it's like it's not doom and gloom, it's not panic. It's just if you're gonna decide to do this in the next 1 to 3 years, it's just prudent to do it now. Like don't
I
wait,
just don't
don't
see.
procrastinate.
I just don't
Yeah,
see the weight. I don't see the weight being a wise plan here.
that's right.
People have been waiting, and they've been seeing that the prices. If
Yeah,
if if 8%, 8.5% interest rates didn't drive prices down, if inventory increasing, if days on market right now, our average days on market's a little between those markets, it's about 100 days.
yeah,
Again, well-priced homes will sell in 3 days.
yep.
People that are asking a lot and have to like chop away at it, that hurts the averages. But On average,
Yeah.
Coral Gables Coconut Grove's about 100 days on market.
Nice.
But I don't see that getting better. So I think if you're looking to make a move, make it. And then I know that better experts than I on this call can tell you that interest rates will continue to come down, and you can
Yeah.
refi that later. But at
That's
least
right.
you won't be competing right now as
Yeah,
much
that's
as you
right.
will.
Yep.
Well, we're at time here, but what last thing, like, what don't people know? What do people not know about Florida they should know? Oh, you got them hooked. Okay, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
All
should
right.
move. Oh, damn, I
So
didn't know
it's
X. What's
it's
the
wonderful. We don't have mansion taxes. We don't have state income taxes. So like yes, all those things are wonderful and true. We do have palm trees. We do have sunshine. It's a much more relaxed environment here, and there's a million reasons that, especially as we go into the winter, into bragging season, I call it, that we can sing the praises of Miami. But you're already sold, right? You're already sold, and you're showing up at my doorstep, and now you want to know what what don't I know? I'd say one of the biggest surprises people have here when they're doing their budgets on what they can afford is they don't realize that we do have property tax here, and depending on which of these specific markets you're in, Pinecrest, Miami Beach, a little higher, Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, like these neighborhoods tend to be a little bit higher. We do have property taxes that, if you're doing quick math. I tell people to plan for 2% of their purchase price as an annual property tax. It will very likely end up being less than that because it ends up being calculated on the assessed value, whatever the county decides your assessed value of your home is in the following year. And so, it ends up being on so about 80 cents on the 80 cents on the dollar of value. But yeah, people do have to start budgeting for if you're going to be buying a $3 million house. You could easily be looking at a $40,000 tax bill, give or take. I mean, my
Right.
my home's assessed value was 1.7. It was a 2.1 purchase, so they assessed me at 1.7, and that's it's a little over $30,000 a year in taxes.
Yeah.
The good news is if it's your primary residence, you will lock that as your homestead, and then there'll be a maximum of 3% increase per year. So now if they cannot increase the taxes more than 3% annually once you're locked in as your primary residence.
Plus, you get
And
some
so
level of
as
right. Plus, you get some level of right. Not that it's helpful. I mean,
well,
rather,
well,
not
no,
that
but
it's
the markets
desirable, but you
the
get some
markets
level
go
of
up.
write-off. Yeah, that's right.
Eventually,
That's right.
eventually, the value of your home will go up, and if you buy a house for $3 million, it will be worth four at some point, and you won't be
Yeah, that's right.
paying based on four. You'll be paying based on that three, which
Initial
will likely
assessment.
even be in the higher
Yeah,
twos.
yeah.
So,
All right, we're gonna go speed, super speed. Christian, then Ed, then Levi. Any final closing thought for our audience now, or the ones that will see us in the future? Any final closing thoughts, Z?
Yeah, I would always say, it's all about having the right discussions and being well informed to make the right decision. So
Yeah,
talk to the experts.
awesome. Yeah. Ed, anything you got?
I will say that rates are likely to go down and the competition's only going to increase. So if you're looking to make a move in the next year, do it sooner than later because it's going to get more
Yeah.
and more difficult, especially in North Jersey.
Yeah, then we're gonna
yeah.
have got 17,000 offers,
Yeah,
15
yeah.
brokers fired. Levi, my man, in between your your boat trips, any final thoughts?
I have to echo exactly what the other guys were saying is that working with a professional matters. And like you don't want to come down here looking to try to find a good realtor by calling the agents that you see on Zillow.
No, I
That
thought
is
it was
not that is not
Zillow.com. No, it's not how you do
that
it.
is not a very good game. But that may be an easy game plan in a small town somewhere where you can see, oh, this guy's got 100 listings. Miami is a tough town to navigate, and I think it's very important that you have a professional, a local, a native, be that me or somebody else, somebody that has the experience, the grit, and the relationships. Because
Yeah,
Miami is a big city, but a small town, and relationships go a long way here. So somebody that knows
for
the
sure.
agents, knows the markets, will get deals done for you.
Yeah, thank you. That's so spot on. And for anyone watching, if you need mortgage or Jersey or Florida or anywhere else in the state, country, or now world, it used to be Compass is just everywhere. It used to be Compass is everywhere. Now we're
Now
anywhere
we're
too.
anywhere.
Now we're anywhere too. Let's go. You know. Gents, thank you so much for your wisdom, for your time. I truly love all of you guys. Have an amazing day.
Thank you, guys. Great seeing
See you
you.
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Bye bye.
Later. Bye now.